Heyo, welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO and you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome into Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm the host of the CHGO White Sox postgame show, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Actonwall23. He's the CHGO White Sox community leader. We are here after a White Sox win. The White Sox win 6-3 against the Cleveland Guardians in the 4th game of the series, and the Sox improved to 48-48 on the year. So they basically just come out exactly where they were heading into the series, splitting this 4-game set with the Cleveland Guardians. They are currently 3.5 games back behind the Minnesota Twins, who haven't finished up against Detroit, but they currently have the lead, so they should win that game. They're 9-1 in the bottom of the 9th, so they should be at a 4-game lead over the Sox and a 3-game lead over the Guardians. Guardians are 48-46. Twins are 51-44. Herb, big win for the Sox, and they did it with the long ball. How you feeling?
Feeling really good. Finally, we attack Shane Bieber. That home run by Leury Garcia early in the game actually matched their output against Shane Bieber for the whole season. The 2 runs there. That was good to see. And then you get the bonus of the 3-run home run from A.J. Pollock. Awesome to see the offense showing up versus a tough opponent, a tough guy throughout their career. And Steven, our producer, says this 6 runs that they've scored off of Shane Bieber is the most they've ever scored off him in his career versus them. So yeah, that's good to see.
Well, and it's shocking to see Safe Ferris say, gentlemen, no progress. I would say there's progress here.
There's tons of progress.
A.J. Pollock smashing a homer is great to see. Leury Garcia being beneficial off the bench is good to see because Josh Harrison is a better second baseman. So if Leury's going to provide any power, that's good to see. And Eloy, 2 home runs in the past 2 games, or I think it might be 3 games. I don't know. Is it?
He hit one in the first game of the doubleheader, I believe,
so,
didn't he? Or Friday.
2 in the last 2 days, 2 in the last 3 games. But that's great progress. It's great to see if Eloy
maybe he
hitting
means
homers.
Start of the series, we're still 500.
Yeah, there's no progress.
That's
but I look at it as when we came into the 19 games, we said, this is our time to strike. You didn't do like an ass-kicking the great versus these teams. You went 10-9 versus Minnesota, Detroit, and Cleveland in that stretch. You didn't lose ground. You actually gained. You were down 5.5 games before you started that series on July 4th. Now it's going to be 4 games behind Minnesota. You've gained ground. You've shown these guys, hey, you beat the Twins in the series, you tied with the Tigers, and you tied with the Cleveland Guardians. That's all I want. Hold ground. And I know people say this is the time to strike. Their August schedule, their September schedule. Plenty of time, guys. I know urgency was these 19 games, but they did what they needed to do, not lose more games than they won. They won more games than they won. Yeah, and then they lost.
Before we go into the full 4-game series here, you see Chi-Town Fanboy mention it. You say in the last 19 games, 10-9 is not acceptable. They're a 500 team and nothing more. 10-9 does put them above 500.
It is.
But in the 19 games that they recently had, all against the AL Central, they do go 10-9. And I understand the frustration Sox fans have with this team because the first series of that one against Minnesota, you lose the first 2. Then you win the last one. Then against Detroit, you have a 4-game series. You lose the first 2, then you win the last 2. 4-game series against Cleveland, you lose the first 2, win the last 2. Now, against Minnesota, this is why we were all hyped up and excited. They won 3 out of 4, and we're like, oh, hey, now this team finally woke up, finally going to do the damn thing. And then Cleveland, they lose the first 2. And win the last 2. So I understand the back and forth, the snip, snap nature of the Michael Scott vasectomy that is the White Sox in 500. But 10-9 is good enough. And when you're going up against Colorado, you're going up against Oakland, you're going up against Kansas City, Texas, Kansas City again, Detroit. This is where the White Sox should step on throats. They haven't yet, and I understand that's frustrating for fans, and it should be.
It is. And I don't know what White Sox fans wanted there. Did they want to go 13-6? Yes, everybody wanted to put these people behind them. But if you in the 19 games didn't see improvement, I don't know what's going on. Like, I saw vast improvement from the bats. I saw better at bats. I saw taking down Shane Bieber, our bugaboo, a guy that we haven't scored close to this many runs against. Better at bats mean better team. Ball goes over the wall, team will go far. So we're going to be fine eventually. And I know it's unsatisfying to only go one game over 500, but I told you that when we started this whole thing, it's going to be a slog, and they only need to win more games than they lose, and they did it. And I'm not satisfied, but I'm content with what they did in these 19 games.
Yeah.
It could be better, but they're not better. Maybe the expectations need to dial down. They're winning the AL Central, but it's going to be 85 games, 86 games.
Well, and I understand why people at least get concerned, because you're saying they should win the AL Central, but they can't even, jump the Guardians. I mean, they're not even in second place yet, and they can't jump this team. If they had
Guardians play harder than the White Sox.
Well, that's a concern.
Like, by far. Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, can they truly win the AL Central if they're just going to be doing this? If teams are going to be playing harder than them in the middle of July, can they actually win the AL Central? I understand why fans are, freaking out in the
because
comments.
somebody put, you have the right to freak out, and we were promised more, but I'm in the reality of this team's going to win the AL Central and get trounced in the ALDS or wherever they call the first round. Absolutely worked in the ALDS.
Yeah, and real quick, I see some people saying Liam, Jesus Strawman saying, I saw a bunch of improvement. My only worry is Liam, but he seems to struggle against Cleveland. And then Brett saying Liam struggles, make me scared. Let's just say this. Since May 16th to July 15th, he had 15 and one-third innings where he did not allow an earned run. In those 15 and a third innings, he only allowed 4 hits and 3 walks. He was allowing a batting average of .080 in those 15 and one-third innings. He's been fantastic this year. The game that he was just in, game 1 on Saturday, that one was real rough, but you look at the home run that he gave up to Steven Kwan. Steven Kwan is an ultra-contact guy. He will always be getting the best part of the bat on the ball.
I hate him.
And that's his only second home run, and it wasn't smoked. 87-mile-per-hour slider, got turned around at 93, so it wasn't crushed, it wasn't killed. It was hit very high, and if Adam Engel's out there, that ball might get robbed because it hits the top of the fence. That hit right there had an expected batting average of .090. All right, so that was not a crushed ball. That was not a murdered ball. That was just Steven Kwan doing a good job as a hitter, getting the barrel of that bat on there. I'm not too worried about Liam at all. I know people brought up, maybe he's tipping again, and that Saturday game was ugly, absolutely. But I'm not too worried about.
And you should listen
Hendriks.
to Sean. As I was worried about Hendriks early in the season, Sean said he's fine. He'll be fine. And he turned into a beast and made the All-Star game off of that terrible start that he had this season. And if Sean says he's fine, I'm going to go with him, especially with Liam Hendriks. He's the Liam Hendriks whisperer.
Do you want to talk about this real quick, Herb?
Nope.
So Liam Hendriks had 6 sliders swung at today. Okay. You want to guess the results on that? 6 sliders were swung at.
I know the Quan one was hit a home run, so
Yeah.
I would say, what were the results? I think the Quan home run. That was it.
So the Quan home run was the only ball put in play that was a slider for Liam Hendriks, and then the other 6 swings were swings and misses. So that slider works. That's the only pitch that he got hit today. So I wouldn't worry too much about Liam. Going back to the start of this 19-game stretch, though, it was a very important one, 10-9. I was looking for a better record, but they're above 500, so that's what's mainly important here. But the one thing that's been good to see is the power numbers. 3 home runs today from Eloy, Leury, and then A.J. Pollock. And I saw this stat from Xavier Sanchez. He is over at White Sox Daily. He does a great job. He mentioned the stat that the Sox were 7-0 when they hit 3 home runs or more. Now 8-0. They had, I think, the 23 teams were ahead of them with games with 3 home runs or more. So they're not doing it a ton, but they have now 5 games in July with 3 or more home runs, and 7 games since June 15th with 3 or more home runs in one game. So it's coming.
It is coming, and you see one of the people that are key to that, Eloy Jimenez, hitting 2 home runs this weekend. Now going to Colorado for a couple games. Let's eat. And Oakland on the weekend. Let's go. Not to Oakland, but back at home versus the A's, who are woeful right now. So, yeah, we're going to be fine. We're going to be real fine. Go ahead. Pause if you're listening to the podcast right now and check that August schedule real quick. You see those delicious games versus the Kansas City Royals? Man, oh, man. Can't wait till they trade all their players away and we attack them and treat them as such. Now, if we don't win at least 7 games versus the Royals in those 10, I'm gonna be mad because that's a team that you should dominate. And I know the Royals always give us fits, even if we're a great team or a bad team. But this should be a down Royals team, and we should treat them as such. That schedule in August is much favorable in the White Sox favor. So go ahead and look at it. Rejoin us on the other side. See, I told you. Wasn't that great to see?
The only team the Sox have been able to take care of in the AL Central is Detroit. They're 7-3 against Detroit. Kansas City, they're only 4-4 against. So hey, if they go 7-3, an 11-7 record versus Kansas City would look pretty damn good. They improved to 5-8 against Cleveland this year, and they are 4-6 against Minnesota. So there's still work to do, and KPW can get out of here with the Daniel Lynch talk. We don't need that right now.
We owe him an ass whooping, not KPW. Daniel Lynch. KPW's worried about his team just scoring all the runs versus the Boston Red Sox.
He's all worried about Vladimir Guerrero apparently firing Charlie Montoya. But no Daniel Lynch at least scheduled right now.
Hey, they fired their
first
manager.
Series of August.
They fired their manager and then they scored like 28 runs.
Right.
Should be a thing the White Sox look into.
Hey, but since June 15th, they're hitting homers now, Herb. Unsuspected or unexpected heroes today, except if you're me, because my first click to pick was Leury Garcia. Then my second one, I changed it to Eloy Jimenez. So I went 2 for 2 today.
No, you lose.
How do I lose?
The click to pick was Eloy. That was the winner, wasn't he?
No, let's look at the graphic right here. Who does that say? Leury Garcia.
Yeah, but you changed it. Everybody who was in the pregame knows that.
Both guys hit a home run. Yohan Moncada didn't even get a hit.
No, it's not. It's got to be the overall guy that wins it overall, not just between us two.
So who is it?
Pollock, probably? 3-run homer?
Yeah, I say
Leury
Pollock.
hit it.
Yep,
Leury hit it first.
he did. But
two.
that wasn't
Just like Ray J.
That wasn't. Wow, nice reference. And yes, Ray J. All this stuff that we've had happen to us since Ray J and the Kim Kardashian thing, it's all his fault. You see, all the skies have opened up. We've had the pandemic since. We've had a lot of bad things happen since Ray J and that sex tape. And he introduced us to the Kardashians. Blame Ray J. Brandy's brother's no good for us.
No. Ray J is bad for the world. Oh, man.
Yeah,
I had
but
no idea
the
how to
Leury
transition on that one.
2-run home run only got us 2 runs. The Pollock got us the win because it ended up to be very valuable because fucking Liam Hendriks and Kendall Graveman giving up home runs in the 8th and 9th inning.
Here's how I look at it. Leury started the whole fun, and then Eloy gave him the insurance. So if you want to say AJ Pollock, that's fine. But
No, yours is Eloy. You said 100% it's Eloy.
Steven, can we show the graphic again?
You did change it.
It says Leury Garcia.
Herb,
There's no proof. There's no proof.
I'll make a new one.
Oh, no, it's on YouTube. The first show's on YouTube. Remember?
All right, you could either,
Just like Steven's friend Dan and his cheap-ass ways, not providing delicious food when you host a gathering. At least say, hey, guys, I'm hosting a gathering. I got the food. Because I'm sure all the rest of the people like, man, I know Dan's going to be cheap on that.
Call it a potluck at least.
We need to bring some food.
Expectations.
Yeah.
And here's the one thing. I mean, Dan, this was the beer Olympics
That's correct. Which I want to point out.
To, what's it, not sideboard this, what's it called? Whatever. Anyways, to just whiteboard this, right? Beer Olympics. Did he supply the beer?
He did.
Okay. So I understand, usually it's like, hey guys, I'll have food, but BYOB, right? Because, I'm buying all this damn food.
Yeah.
I understand if he's supplying the beer for the Beer Olympics that, hey, maybe bring your own food, but you got to let people know. You got to let people know, Dan.
I only had like a brunch kind of going into that. I got to the gym beforehand, went straight there. I'm hungry. And I got these pretzel things, some cheddar and sour cream ruffles, and one little jewel packet of guac and chips.
It's not
rough.
That's not good.
It's a bad look. Bad look for him.
That's a bad look for Dan.
How you host, Dan? Come on.
Yeah, and
Get your game up.
KPW is still talking trash. He says it seems the Sox fans got their one wish of being over 500. Not yet. They're still 48-48, and it's kind of been a dance that they've been playing all year. Let's look at the Sox in 500 and see how this has been going for them. So this is the 15th time the Sox are at 500 this year. They're 6-9 in games after getting to 500. So 6 times they've been above 500 this year. 9 times they've been below 500. May 25th was the last time above 500, and that was against the Red Sox when they played at the G rate right before the 16-3 drubbing of Dylan Cease. And May 12th was the last time the Sox were 2 games back or less in the AL Central. Not good, Herb.
Not good at all. But the horizon looks good because the Rockies are no damn good. And we have the Oakland A's this weekend. If they're not over 500 by the end of next Sunday, I'll be very shocked. They should win at least 3 of those 5 games there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it should be by the Tuesday, by the All-Star break. I guess not Tuesday because Tuesday's today's Sunday. Next Tuesday, the August 2nd. If they're not above 500 and above 500 by 2 or 3 games, that's going to be something that's extremely frustrating. They should easily win the series in Colorado. You got Kopech, who, it'll be interesting to see how he does in that Colorado air, but Kopech and Giolito, you got Cueto, Lynn, and Cease versus Oakland. All 3 of those should be wins, and then you got Kopech, Giolito, and Cueto versus Kansas City. Again, you should be able to win these matchups. It's not anything special, especially being at home for, 6 of those 8. I know that they're a road team, but they were able to take care of business today and able to take care of business, hitting the ball in the air and hitting home runs. So I think, and, the only reason why we should be right, Herb and Wayne, is because the schedule's easy.
Yeah. If they don't beat on bums, then they deserve whatever they got. But I think they can slay, especially with most of their team back. We'll get Luis Robert hopefully back on Friday. We saw him in between the doubleheader games yesterday, running a little bit, catching the ball a little bit. So that's an encouraging sign for me to say that, okay, all he needs is just, time to have that lightheadedness leave his head, leave his brain, and come back to the lineup. And then we'll have our Voltron back on Friday versus the Oakland Athletics, hopefully. Because we don't know what's going to happen in the interim from here to Colorado and then back, because somebody's going to get hurt. We know that.
Well, and hopefully, Eloy can stay healthy, and hopefully Osmani can stay healthy, and hopefully Luis is able to come back. We did see that there was some video of Luis Robert running out in the outfield, so that was good to see. And Yohan as well. Hopefully, he's able to get some hits. I wasn't able to do so today.
And Andrew Vaughn will be fresh, too. Hits. We didn't even need him. Tony's looking at his arms folded. He's like, told y'all we didn't need Andrew Vaughn. I'm like, no, Tony. We would have won by 10-0 with Andrew Vaughn out there versus that Shane Bieber.
Hey.
Mercy.
Blame James
Pollock
Kruk.
batting third.
Yeah.
That worked out.
Blame James Kruk, and also your guy who you're thriving and stumping here for the click to pick. Is the guy,
he's
most valuable player.
Well,
I've been saying AJ Pollock, the guy for that, is replacing Vaughn.
Yeah, still he shouldn't have.
That's
been
Coach
batting.
Tony right there.
He shouldn't have been batting where he was.
That's the next level thinking.
I'm sure Tony's. My results were favorable, so I did the right thing. It wasn't right. Put my man up higher in the lineup. What?
I mean, but he's always going to be justified in his thinking because Andrew Vaughn did not get hurt. Yeah. His thought was, Andrew Vaughn might tweak something. So as long as Andrew Vaughn makes it into Tuesday's game without tweaking anything, his thought process is rewarded.
I just think that's playing scared. And playing scared will lead you to losing games. And what the White Sox have lost as many as they won this year. Some of those games they've lost because they're playing scared. Playing because, I don't want this person to be hurt. And that mentality, as any athlete will tell you, when you play not to get hurt, that's when you get hurt. So the White Sox need to be worrying about, you're on the field? Cool. Give me 100% what you have. That's all. And they've been going 75%. You saw in that comment you read in the pregame that Andrew just got past his 75% output period. Now he can go balls to the wall? That doesn't make sense to me. It never has made sense to me. The team with the worst track record right now for injuries should be going the opposite way of what they've been doing with James Kruk and all that other stuff. They should be going 100% when you're on the field, 100% of what you have. If you're limping, Jose Abreu is a prime example. I mean, it's not 100% ever, but he's giving you 100% of his effort every time he goes out there. And they should be following that lead instead of all the mumbo jumbo from the training staff and the strength and conditioning people. I would be having a deaf ear to those people. Like, look, you see the RIL? What y'all doing out here? Y'all struggling. Yeah. I ain't listening to y'all at all.
I mean, Rick Hahn, I think, described their change in the training and in their health department as a year-long process and years-long process. So they're trying to figure it out and make sure that, hopefully by 2024 they can have the injury issue solved. I got to go find that quote because it was ridiculous. But I mean, I'm fine with them playing a little bit scared with injuries as long as the guys stay healthy because we just got everyone back. Once Luis comes back, there are no other major injuries to worry about. It's Yasmani at catcher, Eloy out in left or DH. Vaughn will be healthy. Anderson's back up. Abreu's here. Moncada's here. Leury and Josh Harrison have second base knocked down. So, I mean, there are no more injuries outside of that. Lance Lynn's back. I mean, let's get this team healthy. I'm fine with getting this team at least one more game with like a full 26-man roster. That'd be nice to
And then we
see.
Start trying?
Yeah, and then we start trying, and then we start betting on the White Sox on PointsBet. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. That's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all the web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from a CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. PointsBet's your home for live and play betting, and it just got even better. If you see an edge in the game you're watching, if your favorite team is primed for a comeback, don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. There's more live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash outs with the PointsBet app. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life at PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. And our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking AG1s because they sent over some free samples to us when we started this company back in March, and I haven't stopped using them since. They are a great partner for me when I wake up in the morning. I wake up feeling refreshed. I wake up feeling ready to take on the day. It helps boost your immune system. It helps boost your energy. It helps support your gut health. It helps support your ability to focus. It helps ability, to recover after you participate in a beer Olympics. Steven, you might be asking, what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. Herb likes to toss it into a smoothie, right? You could throw it into a 10-ounce or 12-ounce bottle of water or glass of water and stir it up. But Herb likes to throw in, some frozen fruit, some juice. Milk? Almond milk. Yeah. There you go. And toss in some AG1s, and you are able to boost your life. It's a great way to reclaim your health, arm your immune system, and it's convenient, and it's daily. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, and it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, and it contains less than 1 gram of sugar. There's no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. Again, right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No needs for millions of different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Sox. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Sox to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. So Josh Harrison was supposed to be in the starting lineup today. Also, I got this one stat. Talking about the strength of schedule and people, in here saying like, well, the Sox haven't proved it yet. Let's see what the White Sox can do with this lineup and this hitting, because since June 9th, I think they've scored the second most runs in the MLB. They have been scoring runs recently, and in their 8 games against Kansas City, they're averaging 3.3 runs.
Not good.
So if the White Sox are able to hit fingers crossed, they'll be able to dominate the Royals because the pitching's been fine. They've been able to get by. If this team's hitting home runs, they should beat the A's. They should beat the Royals. They should beat the Colorado Rockies. They should be able to take care of business as long as the ball is flying out of the park, which, hasn't happened this year. So
having Eloy back is a big time thing. The actual Eloy, not the ghost of Eloy that has shown up most of this year. The guy who's driving the ball out the ballpark, not the warning track power guy. He missed the home run the other day, like off the end of the bat, and it still went flying over because that's how strong he is. When he's connecting, barrels that ball up, it's going to be going in the concourse. So it's just a moment of time, and I'm not scared for people in Colorado. I'm thrilled for them to get a couple more souvenirs than they usually have out there in Colorado because Eloy's coming. Eloy's coming.
And you know what's really exciting?
Hide your hearts.
No strikeouts today. No strikeouts, and he had a couple balls hit that were over 107 and 106 miles per hour. I know that our guy Paul Correct doesn't like exit velocity and stuff like that, but when Eloy Jimenez is hitting balls that hard at 107 and 106 off Shane Bieber, that changes this lineup. And two, you see in the first inning, he hits a flyout against Shane Bieber, 98.6 miles per hour. Off an 84 mile per hour slider. So clearly he's able to turn that around with a lot of power. He's able to get that out in front and generate 14 plus mile per hour or 14 plus miles on that pitch, just based on his strength alone. But the launch angle was too high. It was around 52 degrees. Then in the third inning, 106 mile per hour ground out that goes right into the ground. And then he figures it out sixth inning, the third time he sees them, third time through the order against Shane Bieber. He hangs a slider, and Eloy absolutely tagged that one. So, exit velocities can show you some part of the story, right? It's telling you, are guys seeing this guy well? Are they able to get good swings on there? And you saw some good swings from Eloy today, so that was great to see. And he truly changes this lineup. And if AJ Pollock's doing this, if Leury Garcia is doing this off the bench, then this bench gets better. And Gavin Sheets had a decent day as well. I know people have been worried about Gavin Sheets, but Gavin had 2 hits today, and they were laced pretty well. So, a lot of encouraging signs today from the Sox and this lineup.
Very encouraging signs, and I want to show you where the opposite is going to happen. Why the White Sox have a nice, easy schedule from here on out until the end of August. Let me tell you about the Twins. 2-game set in Milwaukee, the good land. Then they go to San Diego, the Padres, who are not great, but one of the best teams in the National League. The Dodgers are running away with that division. Detroit, they're hosting. Then they have 4-game set versus KPW's Toronto Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers for 2 games. The Angels for 2 games. Then Kansas City and Texas. Then they play Houston for 3 in Houston. San Francisco and Boston. So they're playing much more tougher teams than us. We're playing Houston in August too, but they also offset it. But we're playing Houston here. They got to go down to Minute Maid Park. So they have a really tough schedule in August. By the end of the month, I see the White Sox being in first place.
So the Twins, the remaining strength of schedule 500. The White Sox is at 467. Sox have the second easiest remaining schedule, and that's before the teams they're about to play sell off lots of their players.
Right. So, looking at who they play after August 2nd, they have a night game against Kansas City, so Kansas City will be selling their team before they play. So they'll have 2 games against a post-deadline Kansas City team. Texas likely will be selling, and then they got 4 games against them from the 4th to the 7th. Kansas City again comes, they go to Kansas City, the Sox do, from the 9th to the 11th. They got 4 games against them. Detroit's probably going to sell Andrew Chafin and some of their bullpen pieces. They got 3 games against them from the 12th to the 14th. They got 4 games against Houston, which won't be great, but then they got Cleveland for 3 games from the 19th to the 21st. Cleveland might be selling as well. The 22nd, they got KC. Baltimore's kind of in it, but maybe Baltimore sells a couple pieces. They got them from the 23rd to the 25th. Arizona from the 26th to the 28th. Kansas City again. From the 30th to the 1st. So right there, they got teams that are selling.
And are bad.
You got 4, and are bad. You got 4 games against Houston, and then you got 3 games against Minnesota starting on the 2nd. But really, this is a very, very easy month. This is August Abreu. This is a healthy White Sox team. If the White Sox, I got to count how many games they have, but I mean, I see Greg Miller right there saying to win 86 games, they need to go 38-28.
Easily.
If the Sox are 10 games above 500 in August, there you go.
Easily. And with the Houston series, which is the big time glaring thing in the White Sox August schedule, you're like, 4 versus Houston. Both the Twins and the Guardians play Houston. Twins play them for 3 in Houston, and the Guardians play them for 4 in Cleveland. So it's just a wash. You just got to do well versus Houston. The 4 games you have versus them, go 2-2. Because I'm sure those guys are not going 2-2 versus Houston, especially the Minnesota Twins who got to go down there. So, yeah, they have an easier schedule, the White Sox, than the 2 opponents who are above them. And I think they're a better team than both of them, even though they haven't shown as such versus either of the 2.
So from the 26th of July, starting on Tuesday, to the 2nd of September, the 1st of September, the Sox have 32 games, and I subtracted the games for Houston. So 36 total games there. 4 against Houston, you take those out, 32 games. So if the Sox go 20-12?
I mean, yeah, that works.
20-12, and then split that Houston thing.
Yeah, that works.
Pretty decent. I mean, they'd be putting themselves in a great spot.
That's 10 games up.
And then you have 3 games against Minnesota,
8 games up.
right? I mean, and then you have a tough matchup against Minnesota. But if you're rolling at that point, and then you get Minnesota, I mean, that's when you could really stomp on them. But it's just, I agree with Clark. TLR needs to approach the stretch with intensity and not save it for October. But apparently on Friday, he talked to the team and gave them a speech and said that, the second half is all important and stuff. And, they lost that game on Friday and they lost the first game on Saturday. So I don't know what TLR can do. I mean, I'm not really buying in that Tony's going to rack up these boys and get them all excited and, win this one for the Gipper. It's all about, can A.J. Pollock hit the damn ball? Can Leury Garcia be a positive force for this team? Can Eloy take advantage of mistakes? If they can, I mean, that's all that matters.
I don't understand the urgency now. Urgency should have been in April. They can win those games in April, and then we would be sweating all this stuff in July, August, and September. That's the mark of a bad process initially, where you're like, we have plenty of games to get back. No, let's jump on their throats initially. And so in the fourth quarter, we could be chilling. Got the towels on, looking at the scrubs playing. You're like, oh, man, that's great. Look at that dunk by my man. Do you see how basketball players do when they got a big lead in the fourth? Now the White Sox going to be out there struggling in the fourth quarter to trying to not only surpass the Twins and the Guardians, but set themselves up for a better matchup versus whoever they're going to play as the division winner of the AL Central. So they'll be looking at the 6th-place team, which right now is the Seattle Mariners. I'm good because I think the Mariners would beat the White Sox in a 3-game set. I do think they are. I think they will. The White Sox haven't shown me that they're better than the Mariners. The Mariners has at least won 14 in a row. They got hotter than shit just to get in 2nd place, 10 games back behind the Astros.
On a 2-game losing streak right now and down 6-0 against Houston. So how do you follow up a 14-game losing streak? You get swept by the team that's in front of you.
Yeah.
So let's look at that real quick. Just the teams that they could be playing. Toronto's, and shout out to KPW. Toronto is right now got the first wild card at 53-43.
Fired their manager.
Tampa at 2nd. 52-43.
Don't want to play them.
Seattle at 51-44.
I'm good too.
Out of those 3 teams, who do you want to play?
Out of those 3, I would rather play the Seattle Mariners because Toronto's going to batter, and they have 2 studs at the top of their rotation. Tampa, they got Rube McClanahan there doing damage, and they're going to find a way to win with an assortment of players, including Rondo Franco, who we didn't see down there in Tampa Bay when we placed them. Mm-hmm. So in Seattle, out of those 3 are the easiest teams, and hosting them here would be much better than going out to Seattle. But this White Sox team is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They play well on the road and play like crap at home.
Yeah, and maybe they'll figure that out. But yeah, 21-27 on the road, and I think the run differential is still like minus -60. So they're still finding something out with their home schedule, but they're going to be playing a lot of bums at home. They're going to be having a lot of games against the Royals at home where hopefully they can figure something out and they can figure out that home record. Texas is 8 games back, so they're probably not going to be competing for the wild card, but Baltimore, Boston, Cleveland, Seattle, Tampa, Toronto, those are the teams that are fighting for a wild card spot with the Sox. I agree with you that Seattle's probably the team that I want to face the most, but it would probably be Toronto or Seattle, but let's just avoid Toronto at all the COVID stuff. And
I mean, we'll be hosting here,
Northwest.
so that'll be fine.
There's no games at all that they play?
In the first round, you play all the games at the host city.
All right, that's interesting. Let's go out to the host city then. I mean, if the White Sox win the AL Central, they'll be hosting some team, and they'll be hosting them in Chicago, where Vinnie Duber is. He's at the Guaranteed Rate Field, and he is the CHGO White Sox writer, and he is out covering the Sox at their home park. Vinny, how's it going?
Wow, they get back to 500, and you're talking a division championship right
Damn
there.
straight.
Huh?
Well, I mean, that's what we usually do when they win. When they win, we usually say they're back and they can win the division. And then when they don't, we swear. It's a very consistent show. You can follow Vinny on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. Vinny, who'd you talk to after the game?
Just chatted with Tony La Russa and Dylan Cease, obviously. AJ Pollock and Eloy Jimenez had some brief comments after homering today. But, a good day for the White Sox. I don't know if the series was able to teach us too much, but, they did some stuff over these 4 games that they need to do in order to turn things around. And they showed that they can do them. Now it's a matter of doing them consistently because there were some other things in there that weren't so hot. So, a real mixed bag of a weekend that kind of encapsulates the whole mixed bag of a season to this point so far. They started 500. They're 500 again. And now it's time to see if they're, we're still doing that thing where we're waiting to see if they can kind of climb their way out of it.
You know what I like today, Vinny, is that Dylan Cease didn't have A-plus stuff today, and the Cleveland Guardians were even the stuff that he was throwing nice, they were just hitting the ball. It was a testament to him to still get outs and put zeros up on the board in the 6 innings that he's pitched. Did he talk about his stuff today and how he still got outs and even without the premium stuff?
Yeah, in fact, a very Dylan Cease kind of comment that was just, the result is the same. It's just a different way to get an out kind of thing, But obviously it was noticeable because so many times this year we have been used to seeing Dylan Cease have, 8-9 strikeouts by the end of 3 or 4 innings. So the fact that he was able to do what he did and keep them scoreless. And what I noticed too, a great sign of the evolution that he's made over the last couple years, got into some jams today. I mean, the first few innings, he had guys at second, guys at third base, and he kept them there. He stranded them there. And that's something that a few years ago, I think, specifically in that 2020 season, he got into a jam and it would just snowball real fast on him. And that was not the case today, and it hasn't been the case this year at all, as he has been fantastic. He's got to be one of the Cy Young favorites at the moment, just because, whether he's striking a million guys out, and I think even with only 4 strikeouts today, he jumped back into the AL lead in that category. But whether he's striking out a million guys or not, he's getting guys out. He's lowering that ERA. He's keeping runs off the board. That is the job of a starting pitcher, not just to blow guys away. So certainly he has been fantastic, and he was again today.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I remember in the second inning today, Owen Miller gets on with a single, and then our guy, the big Earn, grounds out to third base. Miller goes over to second, but then he gets into a 3-2 count against Hedges, and usually, Dylan Cease might throw a ball that's well outside of the zone, trying to be real pinpoint accurate with those fastballs, but he got Hedges striking out, looking at a slider in the zone, and then Miles Straw got into another 3-2 count again with a runner in scoring position, and he got him again with the slider looking. So it was really great from Cease. He's got such a great composure to himself at this point in his career. I do want to talk to you about how's he feeling, because he did get a liner off his knee. So is all good with the knee there?
Yeah, so he said it hit him in the quad,
Okay.
so maybe got him in a meatier part of the leg there. But he says he's fine. He, obviously, he had that reaction when Tony and Ethan and the trainer came out right there to see him immediately. Obviously, he had that kind of reaction of just like, yeah, all right, give me the ball, let's go, kind of thing. So after the game, he said he was fine after getting hit.
That's good. So you mentioned the comfortability that he's had. I heard a thing that he said he has been pitching like he's got like video game control at this point. Did he talk about any of that confidence, or if that was still there today? Because, only 4 Ks, but it does seem like there is some confidence that is truly building with Cease at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to describe what I've seen from him from the last few years to now, it would be that there was a point where that confidence kind of switched on, right? Because I think everybody always knew he had the stuff. Everybody knew he was, a thrower, and now it's become being a pitcher. And I think the mentality is part of that. And he's a guy that's so dialed into making that mechanical repetition, doing every little thing exactly how it's supposed to be done. Executing pitches is his favorite saying. It's a thing where once he found that confidence, I don't think it's left him. And certainly it can. We've seen it with other pitchers where they go through periods of struggle and stuff like that. But the way that he's been able to match his stuff with a mindset now, he's becoming a smarter pitcher. He's becoming a better pitcher. You hear from Ethan Katz all the time about how he's vastly more involved in the game planning now than he used to be in the last couple of years. He's just developing. This is what you watch when you watch a young player go from prospect to big leaguer to successful big leaguer to one of the best big leaguers, and we're watching it in real time with Dylan Cease. And sometimes you forget, because you are so wanting to see one result every single game if you're a fan. Sometimes you forget, that it was just 2 years ago that things were mighty different. But if you watch it every little step of the way, you'll see how he got here. And certainly it's fantastic at the moment for him. He is pitching as good as any pitcher in baseball right now. And, the All-Star game would have been better with him, I would imagine.
I know the results were favorable, but it was good to see that Leury Garcia, 3-1 count, attack the pitch. I've seen so many times this year where White Sox are letting pitches go in batters counts and taking them for strikes or looking for the walk. Leury lighting them up early, and then you get the Pollock home run on the first pitch. And then I thought that Eloy kind of missed the ball, and he still hit it out the ballpark. It's good to see him with 2 homers in the last couple of days. This offense is starting to turn it on. Did Tony or Eloy or any of the guys speak about this offense starting to contribute a little bit more than they did early in the season?
Well, I'll answer your question there first right away. I asked, Eloy that after the game. I said, does this look a little bit more like what you expected when the balls are flying out of the yard like this? And he did the classic Eloy response saying, "What do you think?"
What do you think?
So apparently that was a question that didn't need to be asked. But I mean, listen, that's one of the things I was talking about when I said they've shown signs of how they can turn this around. How can they turn it around? They can be the White Sox offense that we expected to see. They can hit a lot of home runs. They can show that they can put a crooked number on the board. They can show that they're able to string a bunch of hits together. They did that today. Tony credited the game plan. The game plan was to be aggressive against Bieber, and it worked. How many times have we sat and watched the White Sox, just not have any idea what to do against Shane Bieber? Mm-hmm. Today, they made him look like, more or less than mortal. They made him look like, a minor leaguer out there at times. So, and this is one of the best pitchers in baseball. So this offense has that capability. They can do it. They need to do it a lot more, obviously. But when you're getting contributions like that up and down the lineup, it's easy to see why we all picked the White Sox to go as far as they did, or as we did rather, before the season started. Haven't seen a lot of it, but and Eloy, what a positive he would be if he could kind of make up for some lost time here and show that power. And obviously I'm not saying he has to homer every game like he has the last 2 wins, but to be able to do that. Tony said it's a different lineup with him in it, and he's right, because it certainly adds an element that they have been missing all year long. If you throw Yasmani Grandal in there, he looked good this weekend. Certainly yesterday, the Friday game he didn't do very well, but yesterday he had some success. The on-base skills from him are something that this team has sorely missed. So you throw kind of the elements in there that were supposed to be in there, and you can see how this thing could turn around. They keep saying they got time. They keep saying they got talent. And because the Minnesota Twins have not run away with this division, that is very much true. But, hey, they got to do it, right? So we'll see if that continues. They made so much about – everybody has made so much, us included, about this stretch they just played against division teams, the stretch they just played against Cleveland and Minnesota. Guys, the next 3 teams on the schedule, Colorado, Oakland, Kansas City – White Sox are better than all of those teams, and they need to play like it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what we were talking about before you jumped on. I mean, this is such a pivotal stretch for them up until September when they've faced Minnesota. They got 36 games there, and really the only team that's above 500 or that is going to be in the playoffs in that stretch is the 4 games against Houston. So you got 32 games in this stretch from the end of July to the beginning of September where you're going to be playing teams that you should beat night in and night out. If they're able to go, 10 games above 500 in this 32-game stretch, they'll be looking pretty nice heading into a 3-game series going up against Minnesota, and they might be leading the division at this point. But still, I know people are frustrated with splitting the series again with Cleveland. Has Tony mentioned anything about splitting these series, or the fact that now going back to July, they lost 2 against Minnesota, then won 1, and then lost 2 against Detroit, then split it, then lost 2 against Cleveland, then split it, and then this one they lose 2 against Cleveland and then split the series again. So any talks about splitting the series or not really putting a signature mark on any of these series yet outside of the one in Minnesota?
I mean, these guys are very much, oriented on the day. They're very much caring about what happened today. I don't think they look back too often. And certainly for the White Sox, that's a good thing, because if they look back on what they've done to this point, they're never going to get out of that hole that they've dug for themselves. But you're right? I mean, and that you told the story of the season right there in summing that up. It's one step forward, one step back, one step back, one step forward. I mean, they can't really take off, and it's a problem, obviously, because they're at 500 here as we steamroll toward August, and that's nothing that anybody thought would be said. But they've got to play better against these teams. They got to start winning series. Thankfully, they've been given an opportunity, because Minnesota and Cleveland are not playing like they want to or are capable of running away with the division. So the White Sox have an opportunity here. They just need to play a little bit better, really. And I know winning the division is not the end goal, obviously. People should be frustrated with a series split. This is, for all the things that I talked about in terms of positive signs that you can see, and we haven't mentioned Lance Lynn yet, by the way. What a great job he did yesterday, and a great thing he would be if he can kind of rediscover what he was last year. But for all those positive things, there's negative things going on too. I mean, Lucas Giolito didn't get hit hard on Friday night, but still gave up 9 hits, and he is still searching for himself. The bullpen yesterday, my God, that is, it's a rarity for Liam Hendriks, though he gives up another home run in the 9th inning today. It's a rarity for Liam Hendriks, but you got to be able to get to Liam Hendriks sometimes, and Liam Hendriks isn't going to be available every single day. And then yesterday, in that second game that they did come back and win, you saw a bullpen that wasn't capable of holding a 4-run lead. There's a reason. If you watch the games this weekend, there's a reason Rick Hahn probably said that they could use some more bullpen help, because not only can everybody use more bullpen help, but they went out and showed why he was right on Saturday. So, they're still making errors. They're still putting too many 1, 2, 3 innings together in a row, offensively. But it's there. It's there for them to do. It's there for them to win. I don't want to say it's theirs for the taking, because they're not that much better than Minnesota and Cleveland. Certainly this year they haven't been as good as them yet. It's not theirs for the taking, but they have an opportunity. And with everything that's happened to this point, to have that opportunity is huge. And now you've got basically full health. By the time Oakland comes to town next week, they probably will have full health with Luis Robert being back. This is it. Again, I'm not going to say now or never until the math says that it's now or never, but it's the second half of the season, and they gotta start playing like their season depends on it, because it does.
We've been talking about health. We talked in the pregame about the Andrew Vaughn comments and the fact that he had the day off today. Before we get into Andrew Vaughn, though, Luis Robert, the name that you mentioned, even though Andrew Vaughn had the day off today, not currently injured. They're just being precautionary with him. Robert seems to be the final missing injury piece right now. What's the update on him, and is it still expected to just be the 10 days, and can we expect him soon?
Yeah, as of right now, they say he's improving. Again, not a lot of details on Luis Robert, because it just seems kind of maybe like something that came about and something that is now fading away. That's the read I get on it, at least. They continue to test him and have him see the doctors and all that jazz. He is running around and playing catch pregame the last 2 days, so he's getting better. And yes, the hope is currently that he will be back for next Friday's game against Oakland.
So no concern from Tony or anybody about the last 2 starts from Liam. I mean, yesterday his stuff looked pretty good, but they were just hitting. It was a closer in a non-save situation I always worry about. He just had to get work in and didn't look good in that first game and wasn't available. Him and Graveman weren't available in the second game. So today, to see them both give up home runs, it was kind of troubling, but they're going to do that from time to time. Did the guys show any concern as far as Tony on those bullpen arms?
No, and I think those are the 2 guys that you really don't have to worry about right now. Certainly, Reynaldo Lopez has played his way into that category a little bit too, though he gave up a run-scoring hit yesterday as well. But Hendriks is Hendriks. I mean, he's had these moments where he's had a couple blips. You remember back last summer, last August, I think it was, in that series against the Yankees that started with the Field of Dreams game, and then certainly the beginning of each of his first 2 seasons in a White Sox uniform have seen him kind of take some time to get into shape. That being said, he's Liam Hendriks. He's a guy who the last few years has been the best closer in baseball. He could very well be the best closer in baseball by the time this season ends as well. I don't think he's a guy you got to worry about right now. He's going to blow guys away more than he is put them on base. So that's you're seeing one of those blips. His ERA is still really, really low, and he's still a very, very good pitcher.
I just want to touch base on the Vaughn thing. So he's.
I bet you do, because so does everybody on Twitter, Sean.
Well, and Herb's all pissed off about it. Herb's more upset about it than I am.
Herb's pissed about Andrew Vaughn's playing time? I'm shocked to learn this.
I'm whatever. You know what? They won 6-3 today, and AJ Pollock hit a homer. So hey, maybe Andrew Vaughn doesn't hit a homer and the White Sox don't win.
Hey, Tony pointed it out again. He was being complimentary. I don't think this was a jab, but he did say. He made sure to say in his post-game comments, Vaughn had the day off. A.J. Pollock's in there, hits a home run. Josh Harrison had to be scratched. Leury Garcia goes in there. He hits a home run. So, again, I don't think he's gloating for what the lineup ended up looking like, being complimentary rather instead. But funny that he did make that comment.
Yeah, the guys did their job. But with Vaughn, there's no concern or specific concern, right? It's just he's been playing a lot. This is just a day of rest, because I know in the full quote there was the context of, he was running at 75%. So it's not even like a situation like that where he's still running at 75%, or am I misreading that?
Well, here's how I'd start it all off. I'd say remember back to last year. Because what did Andrew Vaughn tell us in spring training this year? He said he ran out of gas. The guy played far more games than he had ever played in his career before, and he didn't know how to handle it, really, from a physical standpoint. He was learning how to get his body ready. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know, but I think when you're thinking about all these guys that they're resting and telling to take it easy for the reason of tired legs, right? I think he's a guy that you got to remember because of that reason. If we're just talking about what Tony said today, and he said a lot, it seems to me like they are being very precautious with Andrew Vaughn. They are. He's a guy who was among that group. You'll remember earlier in the season that was medically advised to not go full go on the bases because they didn't want to turn maybe what was soreness into an injury. They didn't want to, there's a difference between playing sore and playing hurt, and they would have rather had him play sore than play hurt. It seems like that is getting better. That's improved. Tony talked as if that time was behind Andrew earlier today, and it just seems like they are being cautious and making sure that it does not slide backwards. Be that as it may, I hear your comments that they just had a 4-day All-Star break, that they have 2 off days coming up this week. But there you have it. I'm telling you what Tony La Russa said, and I don't think that, in a vacuum, it sounds fine, right? You don't want to, if a guy's legs are bothering him, they're bothering him. And I don't think that, I don't think you can be critical of a team trying to make sure their guys can be in the best position to succeed. And maybe that's all this is, because the way you're talking about it, the way Tony La Russa is talking about it, it sounds like there's reason to be concerned. He said the exact words. He wouldn't be out of the lineup if it wasn't for a good reason, and there's a good reason. So, okay, I'll take it at your word, Skip, and say that there's a good reason that from a health standpoint to keep Andrew Vaughn out of the lineup. I know what the schedule looks like. I'm sure Tony knows what the schedule looks like. I'm sure Andrew Vaughn knows what the schedule looks like. But there you go. So it is not something to me that is spelling doom in any way. And I know people got really mad about it, and it's a weird thing, certainly, you would think. I think you think back to years past, and there have been guys who have played 150 something games, and I don't know how many White Sox players are going to be on track to do that, of course, besides Jose Abreu. But maybe that's just not how it works anymore, and maybe the way that this organization is approaching this is the new way, because they have data that says that's the way to go. I have not gotten into all of this yet, so I'm not going to do any further speculation, but I'll say this: Andrew Vaughn didn't play today. Tony La Russa said there was a good reason. If you don't think it was a good reason, more power to you. But that's what he said.
I think it was a fine reason. He's played the third most games behind A.J. Pollock and Jose Abreu this year at 75. 75 games in 96 games. That puts you at a pace for 162 games of playing around 125. Last year, Andrew Vaughn played 127. So, if he's reaching the end of September and he's still hitting, or October, I guess, if he's reaching the end of October and still hitting the same way he was in May
of October
and June, I'll be fine with it.
Me too. But what I want to ask you, Vinny, is a very weird question, because it's an odd, I think first time situation ever where a Hall of Fame manager is managing currently. Was there any discussion this whole weekend or leading up to it that Tony might miss these games to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony, which I think is also dumb that you have the Hall of Fame ceremony against Major League Baseball games? It's always dumb. But was there any discussion there?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
In fact, somebody asked him if he would miss it today, and he said, yeah, I'd miss it, but kind of, would rather be managing. You've obviously heard we remember the comments when he was first hired saying that, not being in the dugout was torture to him. So certainly this seems to be the thing he likes to do the most. But how about this one, guys? Thought of this while we were talking with Tony today. They're going to have to change the plaque.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I never thought about that.
Tony was inducted, obviously, and they put his managerial numbers on there. At the time, he was the manager with the third most wins in baseball history. Since he has come back to the White Sox, he is now the manager with the second. Obviously, the numbers have changed as well, but a new milestone reached since he started managing again. So at one point, whenever that might be, when Tony's current managerial stint is up, they're going to have to change that plaque.
The master of maneuvering lineups and managing bullpens is the lead for his plaque, which I find very fitting for White Sox fans who love his maneuvering of lineups and managing of bullpens. It's going to be nice to see when they just add the comma after 1979 to 86 to see 2021 to 2022.
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
You think this is it?
Got a 3-year contract.
Oh, that's right. He's got a contract after this year. That's right.
And you're talking about another division championship right there, Sean. So I guess you're extending that. You're not matching up with what you're saying.
Hey, it's talk to me after the parade. I don't think that's happening. And we all talked about, it's still a disappointment if this team, even if they make it to the first round, if they lose again in the first round. So and I don't know. He is 76 years old. Maybe it is his final year in the old managerial uniform. But we'll see.
I mean, he missed the game. He's not going to leave until he wants to leave.
Yeah.
What else is he going to do? Sit at home? I hear all those retirement stories of people once you don't have a job, you don't really have a lot of stuff to do, and some people pass away after they don't actually have a job to do. So if Tony wants to manage as long as he wants to, I will not be happy about it. But if it's keeping Tony alive and kicking and feeling good about himself, go ahead and manage my favorite team.
He tried
Keep on ruining them.
He tried the retirement thing, and it did not work out for him. He did not like it. Final thing, how was the park with the Minnie Minoso stuff? Any cool stuff that they did at the actual park today because of Minnie being inducted today?
There was a painting hanging in the lobby, a pretty cool painting of Minnie hanging in the lobby. Obviously, the organization is thrilled. Everybody that you ask about it has been, over the moon that this is finally happening for a guy who really is one of the biggest icons in franchise history. Obviously, all three of us, were watching baseball after his time and well after his heyday, although it did extend briefly there into the 1980s, didn't it? But certainly the love for him among the people who knew him in this franchise is high. And really, it was funny. Rick Hahn was asked about it on Friday during his media session at the start of the homestand, and he looked out and he pointed at the players who were stretching, and he says, there's about 4 or 5 guys out there who could answer this question a lot better than I could because of the impact that he's had on generations of talent, both in Cuba specifically and then throughout Latin America, of course, for being one of the pioneers from that part of the world. So certainly a big day for the organization. Maybe not a lot of stuff taking place here today because of Minnie's family and the focus being in Cooperstown. But I'm sure it will not be the last day that we hear about Minnie finally reaching the Hall of Fame from the White Sox. I'm sure there's more to come before the summer is out.
Absolutely, and it's a good time to be a White Sox fan. They're at 46 and 46. There's only up from here, and one of the
48 and 48.
48 and 48, right.
Too comfortable with that good record we had at the break.
Yeah, I'm still on all-star break mode, and it's great to see one of the all-time franchise legends be inducted to the Hall of Fame, even though it was a little bit late. Would have liked to see it when he was around, and would have been great to see a Minnie Minoso speech, but that's not Vinnie Duber's fault. You can follow Vinnie Duber on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's the CHGO White Sox.
Not only do I not have a vote, I don't think any writers have voted on Minnie Minoso in decades.
Yes.
I think
it's not your fault.
It's certainly not. I don't even know why you would bring it up.
Is this Goodwill Hunting?
I'm just trying to connect everything, and I was gonna send him off, and bye Vinny, go enjoy your Sunday. So I just wanted to kind of connect.
And Monday we have off tomorrow too.
That's true.
Let's go.
Enjoy the day off, and you wore Colorado purple for the occasion.
Yeah, I mean, I wore Curtis Mayfield purple. That's as Chicago as it gets right there.
Damn straight.
All right. Appreciate your time, Vinny, and thank you for joining us from the G-Rate.
See you guys.
See you, Vinny.
And the thing about I was getting in with Vinny, like, baseball is the dumbest sport in the world. They just had a week off where they have a showcase where there's no other professional sports playing. I think WNBA even takes the days off during baseball's All-Star game. They should do the Hall of Fame that week. The same, like, All-Star game. It should be Home Run Derby, All-Star game, Hall of Fame, and can capture the whole week.
Do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, capture the whole week. If you want to have it in Cooperstown, boring-ass Cooperstown, have it. But I would be more tuned to having it at the All-Star site. So LA this year, next year I think it's in Seattle. They have these guys. Like, you're watching Minnie Minoso go into the Hall of Fame while the White Sox are playing. Mm-hmm. Like, you're asking White Sox fans to take off from their current team to watch one of their greatest stars of all time get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Same thing when Frank Thomas got inducted. I think also Tony La Russa got inducted that same year. But it's weird. It's an odd thing. Baseball just bites itself or shoots itself in the foot every single time they have a chance to improve their product. And that would be my suggestion. Have Cooperstown, have the Hall of Fame inductions right with the All-Star game, and have it be a weekend.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think it'd make more sense, too, now that they have the draft on that Sunday as well. So you have Sunday, then you have the Home Run Derby, then you have on Tuesday the All-Star Game, and then Wednesday you finish it with the Hall of Fame. I think it would make a ton of sense. I would enjoy it, and if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow is to help us to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from a CHGO locker. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook, easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life at PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Congrats to Minnie Minoso. Congrats to Bud Fowler. Congrats to Buck O'Neill. Congrats to Gil Hodges. Congrats to Jim Catt. And congrats to Tony Oliva. That is your 2022 Baseball Hall of Fame class.
You didn't even name your mans.
Huh?
You didn't even name your mans.
Oh, David Ortiz.
Okay.
There you
Not congrats to him, though.
Yeah, not congrats. Just he's in it.
Guys, we got a little bit of news going on here.
Uh-oh.
The Yankees have pulled 2 of their top 6 prospects from a game in high A. One of them is Jasson Dominguez, who's one of the top outfield prospects in baseball.
That's the prospect.
Yeah, and that was the guy that a lot of people thought was untouchable.
So if you pull him,
this could be Luis
Juan
Castillo.
Soto time?
This could be Juan Soto. That's only 2 names that really make sense for me.
This was a year.
And I did check the score of that game to make sure it wasn't some blowout. It was 12-9 at the time in the between the top and bottom of the 7th inning. So mid-7.
They got pulled an hour ago. So I mean, it is something that
It's something.
you'd think they'd be closer to.
I mean,
Hey, with Trey Sweeney,
that would just hurt.
Eastern Illinois product.
That would just hurt if they got somebody of the ilk of Luis Castillo or Juan Soto. Oh, my goodness. They're a team that's clearing away the best team in the American League, maybe the whole league, and they're like pushing that pedal down to the fucking floor. To the floor, because we don't want to leave any stone unturned. We want to win that 28th championship and have that banner and have that parade around the boogie down.
Yeah, hey.
That's a real good organization to root for, even though I hate them.
Hey, Aaron Judge, we're not going to give you the money. Instead, we're going to give it to the Wunderkind, Juan Soto. That's
Get out of
pretty
here.
damn crazy.
Take their 37 home runs elsewhere, dick.
All right, Herb, would you think this is a good outfield? This is a proposed outfield. This is just an outfield that, might happen. In right field, I'd put Juan Soto. In center field, I put Aaron Judge. And then in left field, I put Giancarlo Stanton. Do you think that team would win some games?
They'll win all the games.
Okay. All right.
I would
Just
tell
wanna
them,
check.
don't ever leave your feet. Just make sure the balls, if they're hit on the ground, cool. We're going to score 8 million runs.
Yeah. Don't worry about the whole defense thing. We'll just hit
If
home
the balls are
runs.
in the air, catch them. Otherwise, we're cool. We're fine. Don't even trip.
And
you guys got your bats coming up.
And Edgar's right. Judge to the White Sox confirmed. It's going to happen.
Yes.
That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Congrats to Minnie Minoso for being inducted into the 2022 Hall of Fame. We appreciate that. And go look at and go watch Sharon, his wife's induction into the Hall of Fame. She spoke well about Minnie and his time in Chicago, so I think Chicago fans will really appreciate that. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. He's the CHGO White Sox community leader.
And a little bit more of that. The guy, Trey Sweeney, was close to a cycle when he got pulled.
Yeah, I saw he was having a good game. I saw a stolen base in there as well.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're going somewhere. I don't know who for, though.
He led off that game with a homer.
I would love for that to break right now. But that's it. That was an hour ago, so I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow Vinnie Duber, who joined us from Guaranteed Rate Field, at Vinnie Duber. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer. Want to thank Stephen Nicholas for his great production, and I want to thank Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album, Tusk. It is a fantastic, fantastic album. I think, honestly, they should put that into the Hall of Fame. We're off tomorrow. We'll see you on Tuesday, 7 p.m. pregame show, and we will have a late night postgame for you here on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Appreciate you. Go White Sox.